Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd. And on part 2 of how to win at business. And I'm not just pulling this shit out of my ass, people, okay? I've been a multiple 7-figure earner since I was in my 20s, and I have a track record a mile long, and I have coached some of the biggest women in the service industry who are now making multiple 7 figures, some 8. That's right. There's such a thing called 8 figures, okay? And they are killing it. Not only are they making money, but they are living the life of their dreams. They're living their core desired feelings, which in my opinion is way more important than finances. Because if you feel free, if you can tell people to go fuck themselves whenever you want to, and you don't have to ask someone to take a vacation, to leave 10 minutes early from work, to pick up your child, or ask for a bathroom break, I think you're fucking killing the game. And you are probably 2% of the population. That's right. The 98% are sad peasants. I hate to say it. And if you're listening right now and you want to turn this podcast off, it's probably because you're one of them. But I'm here to tell you that if you listen to me and you implement what I'm saying to you, your life will be ambitious. You will have an ambitious business, and you will be the HBIC of your most ambitious life. So, on part 1, we went over how to clarify a strong niche and make a signature offer and package and price confidently and don't be the broke hoe on the block. We also talked about what one of my favorite things to do is for all of my business coaching clients is to build recurring automated revenue and then streamlining your operations in your business. And today we're going to talk about mastering client acquisition funnels, which I don't know why this is so fucking hard for people. It's not rocket science, okay? Everything that I am teaching you, I've literally taught myself. I can't imagine how many people out there, and I know, and I will not fucking work with them because they don't listen to me, is they want to have other people build out their funnels. They want other people to come up with ideas. And it's just not the fucking vibe. Okay. It's just not the vibe. And then we're going to talk about setting boundaries and protecting your time, which if you know me, you know that I don't fuck around when it comes to that kind of stuff because I'm a boundaries bitch. And there's nothing more important than having pristine boundaries. Checking my fucking audio over here because I don't want to get in trouble by my editor. He's already up my ass. He's like, bitch, get your shit together. Yeah, I don't really give a fuck, honestly. To me, I just fucking roll with it. And whatever it sounds like, it sounds like. I try not to put too much psychoses into the shit that I do because you know what? I've been a psychotic cunt my whole entire life. And you know what? It's really not serving me. So, and then we're going to talk about prioritizing margin and cash flow management. And if we get to it, we're going to talk about cultivating a growth mindset and creating a supportive network, which I think is so important. And I think we will get to it, but let's see how big of a tangent I'm going to go off on today. So, if you are an entrepreneur, this is for you. If you are in the service industry, this is 100% for you. Okay. And if you are in a career where you're working for someone else, but you have something that God placed in your heart, a great idea, a skill, a talent, a gift, and you're not making money off of it, you're a dumb hoe. I hate to say it. Okay. You have this one precious human life. And the fact that you think you have all this time in the world to create wealth and abundance and happiness and joy and all the things that you desire in your life, you don't know when you're going to go. Like my husband always says, the Lord, when he wants you to come home, he knows where you are and you don't know when that's going to happen. So I say, just friggin' go out with a bang and suck the marrow out of every day. And if you see my t-shirt, if you're watching from YouTube, if you're going to get burned to the stake, might as well fucking smoke a blunt. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. A little coffee, just like my soul, nice and black. Also matches my heart. I was I was very angry on that last podcast. And I really I thought about it a couple times and then I got over it because I'm just like, you know what? Everyone is so used to having smoke blown right up their fucking hoo-ha, and I'm just not the one. So like if you come here, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple, or you're watching on YouTube, or you have some other weird podcast platform like iHeartRadio or whatever that you listen to these podcasts on, I hope that you understand that, first of all, I don't get paid to do this. This is a lot of pressure. I've been doing this since 2018. I have tried to, in the past, coach people that can't even, stick to the same thing for 3 months. And I've been podcasting since 2018, but I've been in the service industry since 1999. I graduated high school in 1999. Okay. And I graduated high school, and when all my friends were, doing keg stands in the woods, I was competing for Miss Massachusetts America. So when everyone was fucking eating and drinking and, partying their tits off the last couple of months of school, I was dieting, I was working out, I was getting ready to compete. And then I went off to college and I became a personal trainer. And then I became a nutritionist, which just kind of piggybacked. And then I started getting a little bit more into very niche things. I was the official coach for Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss America. I have coached tens of thousands of women all over the globe. And then from there, I had a television show on Bravo, and Style Network under NBC Universal called Wicked Fit. So if you don't know that about me, go ahead and Google that, because that just didn't fall out of my asshole. You have to kind of have something going on in your life that's, worthwhile, that people want to watch if you have a television show. And then after that wrapped, I met my husband, and I started really getting into the mindset of business and the mindset of life, because I really feel like if you don't have a growth mindset in your own personal life, if you are watching the news, if you are focused on the narratives that propagandized assholes are feeding you, and you think that that is the word of God, you are in the matrix. You are a fucking zombie, and you probably should just work at a menial job and make minimum wage, and then just you know, go home to your 10 kids from 7 different baby daddies and just eat lean cuisines and watch fucking 600-pound sisters or whatever the fuck that show is. And just wait till you shuffle off your mortal coil. I don't understand, it's like the oxygen thievery on this earth right now is so outrageous. And I know that people are like, oh, Katie's so mean. I'm not mean. I'm true. I'm real. I'm not going to kiss your ass because everyone else is telling you that you're wonderful and you're so smart and you're a gift from God, which yes, we all are. But let's make this life great. With whatever that means. So if you are a baker, fucking bake. If you're a singer, sing your tits off. If you are like me and you are a coach and you are a trainer and you are into wellness and bringing women together in community and having fun and helping them feel something that they've never felt before, whatever it is, okay? It doesn't have to be what I do, but you have to do something. And I'm kind of from the school where it's like, you have this one precious human life. Let's not fucking squander it. I think it's a slap in the face to God and our creator to, wait for someone to save you. Because guess what, bitch? No one's fucking coming. Not even the people that love you are coming. They really don't give that many fucks. I hate to say it. They love you, but at the end of the day, they're just trying to keep themselves afloat. So wherever you are in your entrepreneurial business life, your career, all of the things that I'm going to talk about during this 4-part series of how to win at business. By the way, this is a fucking masterclass. I could charge thousands of dollars for this, but I choose to come here because I understand that, number one, this is part of me giving back. And number two, I know that this podcast, when people listen to it, they hear my tone. They know that I don't fuck around. They know that if you hire me, and remember, I don't work for you. Okay. I actually choose to work with you. You can fill out an inquiry form on kvimc.com. And if I feel like it's a good fit, I'll get in touch with you to schedule a free discovery call. But if we work together, it's because you were attracted to something I said on this podcast. Maybe you've been listening to this podcast for years and you're finally at a place in your life where you're just like, it's now or never. And I think that Katie's the one to help me. I know that Katie's the one that's going to help me go to the next level. Then let's fucking go, right? But this podcast is not for people who just want to listen to me and then be like, feel good for a couple minutes and then move back on into their zombie apocalypse life. This is for someone who deeply desires to change and to grow and to evolve and make the rest of their lives the best of their lives. Okay. So when people listen to this podcast and they're attracted to me, I know that it's going to probably 9 times out of 10 be a good working relationship, because you already know that I'm not going to take shit from you. I'm going to tell you what the fuck is up. I'm going to give you tough love, but I pinky swear promise you, ask anyone, the thousands of women that I've coached in the business arena over the last 25 years, okay? They are all killing it. And the ones that aren't killing it is they wanted to jerk me off in a corner and never implement the things that I told them to do. Okay? Not my fault. Okay, not my fault. I give you the tools, but you have to use them. I can't take your arm and fucking jerk it off and make the hammer go up and down. Okay, you have to do that. You have to choose the appropriate tools for each job. Okay, so let's fucking get into this. All right. The first thing that we're going to talk about is mastering client acquisition funnels. Okay, so this is all about combining referrals, looking for and also combining local partnerships, creating content for your company, both long, short form, and different platforms. Okay, we're going to get into that in a second. And then also understanding paid ads. We're going to also, throughout this, we're going to track conversion metrics, because a lot of you guys are doing things and there's no quantifiable, measurable tracking data whatsoever. You're just taking poopy caca out of your bum hole and you're throwing it to the wall and you're seeing what sticks. And then you figure out what works, and then you optimize that. You double and triple down on that. Okay. So number one, let's talk about combining referrals. Combining referrals. So at KBMSC Wellness, for sake of conversation, it is not the unwashed masses of society coming there. It is elite women who deeply desire to have optimal health and wellness, all while being in the proximity to greatness with other women who are also fucking amazing. Right? You can go there and work out. You can get personal trained. You can do small and large group classes. We have an infrared sauna. We have an aesthetics, body work, and healing room that's all state of the art. You can sit in the clubhouse and have a matcha, a cup of tea, a bone broth, a protein shake. At night, it turns into a bar room. Yes, for when we have special events. And you can play Candyland. You can fucking hang out and watch TV. You can sit on your laptop and work. You can do cardio. You can do spiritual events. We have different things at the studio where we hire, house DJs, and we do workouts to themed music. And then we have parties after. We have art nights. We have freaking flower arranging nights. We have all kinds of shit. Okay. I'm not going to get too much into it, but you cannot just show up and be like, hey, I want to pay you. I'm coming to your studio. Everything is referral based. Everything. Okay. I have never spent, and I'm going to be so fucking real with you right now. I have never spent $1 on advertising in my life. And I've been in this business for 25 years. Now I know that I'm different. I'm a horse of a different color. I've never really had to advertise. I'm an amazing saleswoman. Really. And it's not that I'm a great saleswoman, like, oh yeah, here, you want a Rolex, you want a fucking Louis Vuitton, and I'm opening my fucking pervert jacket on Canal Street in New York City. I'm not talking about that. I understand psychology, and I understand that people are not paying you for your time. They're paying you for your years of knowledge and all of the transformations that you've created for other people, because wealthy people, smart people, intelligent people, high vibrational people, okay, they don't care about money and time as much as they care about let me go to the person who's already done the thing with other people or with themselves, so that I don't have to waste 10 years of my life trying to fucking shuck and jive and figure this out on my own. It's the 0 to hero transition. It's like you're down here, right? You're at your lowest point, and then you know that there's a up here at your highest point, or the highest vision or version of yourself that you know that you can be. Okay. How do we get from 0 to hero? Usually it takes extreme discipline, fucking sacrifice, determination, sleepless nights. Okay. But it doesn't have to be like that, because there's people out there that have already done the things that you desire to do with themselves or other people. And all you have to do is say to that person, hey, I would like you to take me from the 0 that I am to the hero that I know that I can be. Can you help me with that? Right. And so when you combine referrals, right? So you say, for example, I only take referrals, or I do my own selling, or, I am the type of person that I create content that is specially designed for my ideal client. And that is it. Because remember, we talked about the niche in part 1 of how to win at business. When you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So you have to be very specific who you're speaking to. And that is how on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc., that is how the algorithms are wired. Okay. So for example, you could love dinosaurs. Okay. I love all kinds of shit like that. You could like be a dinosaur whore. Okay. You could love dinosaurs. And you're like, I am just going to talk about dinosaurs on my Instagram. You are going to get so many likes and follows and shares from other freak leaks that fucking like dinosaurs too. But if you're talking about dinosaurs and then dildos and then fucking robots and then like porn and then like, fairy fucking books, it's confusing to people. Right. So when I talk about ambitious, I'm talking to women all over the globe who are fucking sick and tired of waiting for their chance, for being pushovers, for being little sad sacks, like waiting for someone to come save them. I'm saying if you follow what I do and you get my fucking map, my treasure map to One-Eyed Willie's boat and like in the Goonies, I'm going to get you there. Okay. That's what I do. I say, I'm going to teach you boundaries. I'm going to teach you how to have spiritual connection with the divine. I'm going to teach you health and wellness and finances and environment and relationships and feelings and emotions and everything that I talk about in the 6 Life Makers and Ambitchious. I'm not going to talk about butt plugs. I'm not going to talk about friggin' nipple tassels. I'm going to speak only on that and everything that goes along with that. So a lot of people will say, well, Katie, you're not really niche. It's like, yes, I am. I'm talking about constantly being a bitch and being in total control of herself. That is my brand, because that is how I've gotten to the place that I am today. Do you think it was easy to come from the family of origin and the background that I came from to be a people pleaser? I had to literally rewire and rewrite my entire script of my life from the ground up after I got to the point in my late 30s, I would say. And that's where Ambitchious really came out. It came from just so much sadness and so much fuckery and so much pain and so much hurt and so much devastation and depression and anxiety and just always feeling burnt out to a crisp because I was selling my fucking pussy on the sidewalk every goddamn day, waiting for someone to come save me, making excuses, being in victim mentality. And I know that people, oh, you're being very masculine. It's like sometimes you have to have that divine feminine and the divine masculine. Sometimes you have to push and sometimes you have to sit back. And I think right now, with the energy of the world, we have to kind of push right now. And then we give ourselves breaks. And that's when we have the divine and the masculine integrate. But if you are not happy with where you are in your life and things are not working out the way that you thought that they would, it's no one else's fault except your own. And I'm giving you like my niche thing, which is being ambitious, being in total control of herself, right? Head bitch in charge, head bitch in control. Okay. I'm giving you all the tools. You have to use them. But the people who don't like swearing and they don't like all the shit that I say, they're not my ideal clients. Okay. So no one's going to refer them. And even if I have a referral that comes in, and this happens all the time. I have clients that will be like, oh, my friend so-and-so wants to come in for a free class or she wants to do this or whatever. I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. They come in and I can fucking smell this bitch coming a mile away. I'm like, she is not for me. She is going to upset the apple cart. I protect my clients with my life because they pay a lot of money to work with me, and I'm not going to let them in my app, and I'm not going to let them in my wellness center, and I'm not going to let them work with me one-on-one and be around all the other girls because I know that it's going to fuck up the energy. I would rather not have that money than fuck up the energy of the women who already are loyal and ride or die bitches and part of our sisterhood, which we call the Ambitchious, right? So think about, how you're getting referrals. And also, and I didn't have this in my notes, but I do want to pontificate on this. How are you bringing in new clientele? So, for example, if you want to work with me, you have to go through a process. You're not just going to come in and like I see this a lot with like hairstylists and lash people and skin people and people in the beauty industry. They're just like, "Oh yeah, like I'll do that person's hair, I'll do that person's this, I'll do that person's that." And then they get people in their chair and they're like, "Fuck, this bitch is a pain in the ass." And then you see the person's name on your schedule and you literally want to get amoebic dysentery and have diarrhea forever instead of fucking cutting their hair. Am I right? You know how many times in the past I wanted to fake my own death because I had no fucking boundaries and I would just coach and train anyone because I was in lack and scarcity from my childhood and all the trauma I had gone through. And now it's like it's really difficult to work with me. Like after I get off this podcast and then I have to do a rock with the girls on my app and I do live coaching there. I have 3 people who I've been kind of rolling around in my brain that were referrals that wanna work with me in business mentorship, and I just was like, "You know what? I don't wanna." I can already tell that they're asking too many questions. They think that they know more than me. They're asking, other clients of mine too many questions about me, and the people are telling me what they're saying, and I'm like, "No, this is already gonna be a problem." Usually, it's because they don't have the money. It's usually because 'cause they're broke ass hoes. And I don't wanna work with broke people because when you work with broke people, they always are defaulting on their payments. They always got a fucking song and dance. You know, the best clients who actually see the most evolution are the clients who just write the check or they pay the bill or as soon as they get the invoice, it's paid within 10 seconds, you know? I already can tell that this isn't gonna be good. So, you just say, "No, no, thank you." Also, reaching out to local partnerships. I think that we think too big in this way, and I'm a big thinker. So hear me out. I see so many of the people that I coach in a business mentorship and they want to get these like influencers to come in and get free services for them to post. And I always tell them, dude, if you have a brick and mortar company for sake of conversation, like if you are an aesthetics doctor or nurse, or you have a skincare company or a hair or makeup or lashes or body work, or you're a personal trainer, you own a wellness center, anything like that. I think that we think, "Oh, we're gonna get this huge influencer that has, like, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of, followers, and we're going to do a deal with them, and then they're going to post about me, and all of a sudden, overnight, I'm gonna have 3 million people knocking on my door." Nothing could be further from the truth. I have done things like this in the past, and you know who the biggest pieces of shit in the world are? It's the people who have millions of followers because they think that they're the shit. I would rather have 3 micro influencers, like, that have maybe 2 to 5,000 followers, or local people who we're bouncing clients off of each other, and we're making partnerships, and we're doing collaborations in real time, right? Than all of these, like, people who are, like, big time, and I'm using my quotation fingers if you guys are watching me on YouTube, okay? So I want you to think about more local partnerships if you have a brick and mortar. If you don't have a brick and mortar, if you do something very niche that, is global, that's a whole different story. But I have coached a lot of these multi-million person following type of influencers. Are we still even using that word? It's so fucking stupid. Anyways, I digress. And I've coached them in a business container, and I'll never forget, I coached this one girl, she had 7 million followers, very famous, I'm not gonna say her name, and she had a makeup company, and I would say to her, "How many of your followers convert into sales on Instagram monthly?" First of all, she didn't even know how to answer that, and I was like, "Wow, you're a dumb bitch." And then secondly, when she did find out how many, it was, like, such a small conversion. I'm like, "Fuck." Like, no wonder why your business is going under. And I had to step away from working with her because she just was uncoachable. and she no longer has that company, obviously. Um, just because you're famous, just because you're a reality television star, you're a movie star or whatever, doesn't mean you should have like makeup lines and clothing lines and all this shit just because you like clothes and makeup. I like clothes and makeup too. And that shit is hard. It's not an easy company to get into. Product sales are difficult sometimes unless you really understand how to do it. So think about more local partnerships, and like I said, unless you are a global product or service brand. And also, if you have an app like I do, having bigger people or global people it's going to be great because people can, buy your product, which is a service, online service, virtual product like my app, from anywhere in the world. I mean, I have clients from Australia, Dubai, Jordan, South America, freaking all across the USA, Canada, or the Orkney Islands in Scotland. I mean, you name it. I have clients from everywhere because I have a global company. The great part is I'm kind of like a triple threat. I have an app which is global, it's virtual and global, right? I have a brick and mortar company, which is more a local thing, or I can have people, I have bitchapaloozas every year at my studio. I have people that fly in from all over the world, but it's a more niche, local kind of thing. And then I have a one-on-one coaching company where I only take 10 people at a time, and we sign contracts to work in a very specific container of time, right? And then as soon as that one person gets done with their project, I move on and I bring on another person. And to me, that's like so easy. But when you're just using virtual, or you're just having a brick and mortar or whatever, I think a lot of times you're kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face when you can just have multiple things going at one time. You just have to learn how to juggle it all. And again, that's not for everyone. But think about who you're partnering up with and who you're collaborating with. In that same vein, creating content, okay? What I always tell people, so let's just say you are a coach, or you do something very specific, like you're a makeup artist, or you're a master hair colorist, or let's see, you are an aesthetic brand. What I want you to do is I want you to have a YouTube channel. I want you to then take that YouTube channel, and then I want you to take those videos and cut them up into smaller short form content for Instagram, for Facebook, for uh, TikTok, even for Twitter and LinkedIn, depending on what kind of niche market you're in. And I had a girl a couple years ago that she was just so overwhelmed with content. And I'm like, well, what are you trying to do? She couldn't just pick a lane. And I said, you need to either have a podcast or you need to have a YouTube channel that's long form. And then you have to take that and cut it into short form. Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, guess what? There's a seed for every ass, as my grandmother used to say. Hire someone that knows what the fuck that they're doing. Okay. Instead of you trying to learn more and more and more shit and say, hey, can you take my YouTube or can you take my podcast and can you cut it down into like these bite-sized things for reels, and have those reels or have those TikToks or whatever, have them speaking to my ideal client avatar, and have it very niche. Okay. Then from there, you always have to be bringing on people to join your email newsletter. And I'm going to tell you why. Because let's just say tomorrow, Mark Zuckerberg got a hair across his ass and he's like, fuck Meta. I don't want to have anything to do with this. And I know it's just not Mark Zuckerberg anymore. I know there's a whole company, there's a whole board. I'm not stupid. Okay. But let's just say for funsies, Mark Zuckerberg wakes up one day and he's like, I don't want to do this Meta bullshit anymore. And he just shuts that shit down. You guys, you do not own any of your followers on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, etc. They are not your intellectual property or IP. The only intellectual property that you fucking own is the people who have signed up for your email newsletter. I use a company called Flowdesk. To me, that's my favorite one. It's very feminine. It's super easy to use, super user friendly. But let's just say you are collecting on a pop-up on your website, or you're giving some kind of freebie in exchange for someone's email address, okay? as you're compiling, and I have over 150,000 people on my email newsletter. So as you're compiling your email newsletter, you are creating emails that are entertaining, that are empowering, that are educational, that are giving the people service and value without selling, okay? And those people have the right to opt in or opt out at any time, unsubscribe, okay? But if they're on your email newsletter, you own them. You can sell to them. You can do anything you want with them. And let's just say that Flowdesk tomorrow shuts down. I have every fucking name and email address on a CSV file. I pull the CSV file and I just go over to another email service provider. Okay. I used MailChimp for a million years. And then that kind of started getting obsolete. We started using Flowdesk. And if Flowdesk gets obsolete, then we find another one and we optimize that. But I own those names and emails. Those are my intellectual property. So I can't tell you how many clients have no email newsletters, no way to gather any of that information, and they do not sell to their email newsletter, and they do not give value and service to the people on there. Okay. If people signed up for your email newsletter, they want what you are talking about or selling or educating about or whatever. They want your shit. They wouldn't have done the sign up if they didn't. So I had a girl that I worked with a couple years ago, and I said to her, you lean way too much on your social media. And if you guys are on my social media, I mean, I do it, but I don't give a fuck. Like, if Meta shut down tomorrow, I'd actually be grateful because I'd be like, good. One less fucking thing I have to worry about during the week. One less thing I have to do. Okay. So I had a girl, she had like over 500,000 people on her email newsletter. She had just been accruing them and accruing them and accruing them and never sending a fucking email. So the first thing that we did, she was in aesthetics. The first thing that we did when we started working together is I was like, bitch, we're starting to send emails. So let's start writing them together. Let's start really creating some incredible copy that just converts to sales, that gives your people value and service and educates them, etc. And she was so against this and she was so trepidatious. And finally, I broke her down. We did it. Did you know on her first fucking email, numero uno, she sold over $500,000 in products. This is no word of a lie. Over $500,000 in products. And this bitch is like, I can't pay my rent. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm like, I'll help you do that. I'll help you fucking buy a goddamn mansion if you want. And she did. She has 4 homes right now. Okay. But can you imagine? And this is years ago. So she is like killing it. She's worth multi-millions of dollars now. And she had nothing. She's a very, very, very famous in the aesthetic world. But you guys, if you're not serving your ideal clients in that way, what the fuck are you smoking? I mean, this is not rocket science. We are not operating on children with brain cancer, okay? This is not that difficult. You guys are focused on the wrong fucking shit. And I'm telling you right now that social media is going to start going away. And for all of you people out there who are working in a place where you are creating content for people on social media, you are going to start losing your jobs and you are going to start losing your clients if you do not fucking listen to what I'm saying. This should be another service that you are giving your ideal clients, because it's just not about social media anymore. People are craving in real life experiences. All the young kids that are coming up, they don't want to do this anymore. They want to use rotary phones, flip phones, old-fashioned fucking cameras. They shut their shit off. They get off social media. They think it's fucking gross. And honestly, I am so excited for this because I fucking hate it too. I hate it. And it's fun sometimes, like, to create something that's funny and fun and whatever, and you get to have nice conversations and stuff. But that's a lot of work. Like, my husband does a thing every Sunday called Sensei Sunday, and it's mostly for his kids at his dojo. So what he does is he puts out a Sensei Sunday, and then he talks about the Sensei Sunday with the children during the week, and it just gives them something to focus on. Yesterday, he was like, oh, you're going to do my Sensei Sunday? Because he's weaponized incompetence, right? Instead of him just learning or whatever. I'm like, yes, I will. I did it. And he's like, well, what about graphics and this thing? And I go, No one fucking cares. No one fucking cares. Like, you guys are all focused on the wrong shit. And I know that I'm gonna get a lot of people that are like, "Oh my god, you're horrible, you're wrong." No, I'm not. I'm a fucking Aquarius, and I'm fucking smarter than the average bear, and I know that this shit is gonna start tanking very soon. So you better get your fucking shit together, and you better start thinking about these types of things that I'm saying. Referral programs, local partnerships, creating content that attracts your ideal clients, not reinventing the wheel, and having email newsletters. Now, I am not an expert at paid ads. I have people that my husband works with because I've never in my life paid for advertisements. My husband's working with a woman right now who's phenomenal, and I'm thinking about working with her down the road when we really start to push out the KBMFC wellness and social club stuff. But right now, that's not my focus. I'm just finishing up all the glow up and the renovations, and I'm traveling a ton for work. You know, I'm going to India. I'm going to Scotland. I'm going to Portugal, Nashville. Fuck, where else am I going? Oh, yeah. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for speaking engagement. So I'm doing a lot right now. And I'm, working full time, and I have my app and all that stuff. So I don't really know a ton about paid ads. Like, I understand what it is and how it's done, but I don't really know the execution. But I think that if you can find someone that can help you with paid ads and you give it a good 12 weeks, because I think what happens is people start doing paid ads, and my husband's done it before. People start doing paid ads and they think it's like the ROI is like instantaneous. And I would give all people doing paid ads for me at least 12 weeks to really see some traction. But I think that paid ads, they're good, but, like, I don't know. I just don't think that a lot of you guys need that shit either. It really depends on what kind of business that you're running, if paid ads are going to convert or not. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that because like I said, I'm not an expert at paid ads, but again, I think it's really about what business that you're in. Now, with everything I just said, we need to have ways to track conversion metrics. Like, when I send this thing out, how many people reach out to me to work with me? Or when I do this thing, how many people buy my product? Okay. And then whatever is the highest conversion metric, then you double, triple, quadruple down on those things, and you optimize them and you tweak them and you curate them and you iterate. That's it. If there's no way for you, it's like losing weight, okay? Like, say you're getting in shape and, you're like, "I don't weigh myself." It's like, "Well, you know what? Listen, I don't wanna fucking weigh myself either." Okay? But that's the only way that you can know if what you're doing is correctly working. And I know a lot of people will be like, "Katie, that's not true because, muscle and fat." And shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying. You need to have quantifiable data. Like, I use a Hume, okay? Hume does everything. Does your body fat, does your bone density, does everything, right? So every month when I sit on my Hume, I can see, oh wow, my bone density is going up. That's great. Or my body fat is going down and my visceral fat is going down. Or whoa, I'm really dehydrated. Like, quantifiable. And you can see where you started and you could see where the middle parts are and you could see when you hit your goal. I just believe as a coach, you need to have those quantifiable metrics with discipline. So that's what you should really be focused on when it comes to this type of stuff. Okay. The next one is going to be all about investing in skills that scale. Okay. So this could mean this is one thing that I am an expert in, which is online program delivery. So that could be an app, a course. I have a whole team that I work with in my business coaching container that helps my clients if they desire to build out courses and they desire to build out an app and create multi 6 and 7 figure recurring automated income, okay, where you can work from anywhere in the world and you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel, and you make something once and then it just lives there forever and ever in perpetuity. Amen. Or this could be about really getting good at your marketing copy. I hate to say it, but like, I use AI only to clean up my writing because I'm not great with punctuation. I'm getting better as I get older because I just pay attention more, but I just use AI for that. I'm not using AI to like write emails for me or any of that kind of stuff. Maybe I will in the future. I just don't like it because I think it can't. I know people are like, well, you teach it how to talk like you. I'm not really into that fucking. Did you motherfuckers ever watch The Matrix? Okay. Are you guys stupid? They've been telling us this since 1999, and you're still thinking like, oh, I'm going to go get therapized by fucking my AI. It's like, you're asking for it, sister. Okay. So I do use AI, but it's really just to clean up my shit. But if you can get really good at your marketing copy and you can learn group facilitation, which means you have a one-to-many model, not just a one-on-one model. So let's just say you are a massage therapist. Okay. Say conversation. I'm working with a doctor right now who's very famous on TikTok, and he helps with nerve adhesions. And he's like one of the only people in the world that does this, and it's fucking genius. Okay. And for years, he's been doing one-on-one coaching, teaching other chiropractors and other physicians how to do this. And I'm like, you need to create a course. Okay. He's like, oh, I'm scared and I don't know how to do it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I will help you. So he and I are creating a course right now, which is a one-to-many model. So he can teach how to get rid of every nerve adhesion in the body. Okay. So he's not hurting his own fucking body. Okay. Because when you do body work, as you know, if you're a body worker or you do something with your physical body, you know that you can only do that shit for so long and your body starts to hurt and break down. Right. So if you can learn one-to-many model, if you can learn group facilitation, large group facilitation, right? Like instead of telling one person one thing, you have 1,000 people in a room. Or you really get good at sales conversions, which so many people aren't. They don't even know how to fucking sell. They're so good at what they do and they don't know how to sell. Okay. Or you really, really, really invest in basic financial literacy, or you want to expand your income without trading more and more of your own time for hours, which, like I said, it's a one-to-many model. It's a course, it's an app, it's large group facilitation. Those things are going to change your business and change your life. I know that if you follow me on social media and you see what I'm doing, I work a lot, but I don't really work. It's more of a creation thing and it's more of an inspiration thing. I physically work maybe like on the floor or like going live on my app, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 hours a week. So what most people who are making trash money work in a week of their life, I do in a month, and I don't use my body that much. I use mostly my mind. So I don't know who's killing it, me or you. So I kind of have like the holy grail when it comes to like doing this shit, and you're still trying to fucking masturbate in the corner and see what happens. Well, can keep doing that, and your whole life is going to be one big masturbation session. Oh, this is the next one. This is going to really, really, really fuck y'all up. Hold on. Need some coffee. Okay. When you win a business, mostly it's because you're setting your boundaries, you have clear-cut, concise ones, and you're protecting your time like a motherfucking Schutzhund trained guard dog. Okay? You have to divine your work hours. You need to have serious limitations with clients, and they have to know that this is a limit for you. You have to have non-negotiable personal time. All of this needs to be, and I'm going to use the N word, it needs to be put in something that is in either an e-signature or it's a physical document where the people read it in front of you and they acknowledge your boundaries and they sign it. And then you have to use scheduling rules, and you have to have clear-cut policies and procedures, because that is going to prevent you from burning out into a fucking supernova. Okay. Recently, I revamped all of my policies, procedures, and boundaries, not only for the girls on my app and the girls at KBMFC Wellness, but also for my business coaching clients. And honestly, it has been such a joy because people just know, like, this is how we work together. Like, you can't text me at 3 o'clock in the morning drunk. You can't ask me to do something on a Friday and expect it to be done on a Sunday. Like, I don't fucking do that. I work on my own timeline. I don't take calls after 5 o'clock at night, you know? And people will be like, well, you're on, and they'll see me like on Instagram and then they'll be like, well, you're on Instagram. It's like, yeah, because that's my fucking, that's my time to be on Instagram. That's not because you see my name on Instagram that you think that I'm still working for you. And I don't work for anyone. I work for myself. I work with people. I collaborate with them, but I don't work with you. Excuse me. I don't work for you. So if you are in a place where you are burnt out and you're like, why the fuck did I get myself into this business? I bet you a million, bagillion to trillions, a zillion dollars that you don't have fucking boundaries and you don't have policies and procedures and you don't have SOPs, which we talked about in last week's business, how to win a business podcast. And the next thing that we're going to talk about before we go on to prioritizing margin and cash flow is our podcast sponsor, Dr. Sazia of Numi Aesthetics. I absolutely adore her. And if you're navigating perimenopause or menopause like I am, I want you to reach out to Dr. Sazia because let me tell you, she's not only my general physician, which I'm so grateful for, but she is the woman who has been guiding me through my own perimenopause journey along with my beauty journey, because when you go through perimenopause and menopause, you sometimes, I don't know if you feel like this yet, if you're around that age, but you look in the mirror sometimes yourself, you're like, who the fuck am I looking back at? I have pictures in my phone that I look so bloated and so unhappy and just sick because I was struggling with perimenopause symptoms and I didn't even know it. I just thought like, oh, I'm working too much or it's the pandemic and I'm overwhelmed and I'm stressed out and I'm depressed and I'm anxious or whatever. And I didn't know that it was what it was. And Dr. Sazi was like, girl, you got to get your shit together. So she is a board trained family physician who blends medical expertise with advanced aesthetic care to treat the whole person and not just the symptoms. We created our signature Meno Reno package for Numi Aesthetics, and it combines lab driven hormone testing and personalized HRT, which I love, and targeted peptides for beauty and weight loss and support of that, and non-invasive treatments like the eye laser, which is fat reduction and skin tightening, which I had on my neck. I'm going to have it a second time just to make it perfect. But she also started doing it on eyes, where she's doing it to lift the eye, almost like a bleph. Oh my God. Can you imagine just being able to do a laser and not have to be cut, like skin cut from your face? Like, sign me the fuck up. She also does microneedling and CO2 resurfacing, which I just had my first treatment. It has done wonders for my skin. And because of my Portuguese background, I have to go on the lowest setting of the laser and I have to do it in succession. So I have 2 more CO2 lasers coming up probably in the fall that I'm going to take you on the journey with. And all of these things from Numi is designed to restore energy, confidence, and your sense of self without surgery. And for ambitious listeners out there, you can reach out to Dr. Sazia. All of her information is in my show notes to book not only a free in-house or virtual consultation, but you'll also get 15% off the Meno Reno package with Dr. Sazia. Thank you, Dr. Sazia. You have changed my life. I feel so confident. And I think that honestly, for a 45-year-old broad, I'm doing pretty okay, because I know a lot of other 45-year-old broads and they don't look good like me. They look like they've been living in a van down by the river, and that they are the direct descendants of the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt, and like they've been smoking ciggies on the beach since 1982. So reach out to Dr. Sazia. You will not be sad. You will only be glad. And now back to this dope ass episode. Okay, so we're going to move on to prioritizing margin and cash flow management. Okay, we have to track our profits. We have to set aside taxes. We have to pay ourselves as owners, and we have to have an emergency fund. We also have to think about cutting low margin offers and focusing only on high end value services. Remember on last week's podcast, I said, you're either a Dollar Tree or you are a Bergdorf, right? You're either like pay less or you are, Jimmy Choo or Christian Louboutin. You've got to pick a lane. I would rather have 10 clients paying me $5,000 a month than the other way around, right? Like have 5,000 clients paying me $100 a month. Like I honestly, because I know how much work goes into people and I deeply desire always to give the best of myself to everyone that I work with. So we have to really start thinking about quantity and quality and which is more important. So I'm all about quality over quantity. I used to be the other way around because of how I was raised. I was raised like with that lack and not enoughness, and there's not enough to go around, and you better just take the scraps when you can. And like that is not true. That is not the world that I choose to live in. Maybe that's the world that you choose to live in, but that's not the world that I choose to live in. I can't tell you how many girls that I work with, and when I first start working with them and we talk about their profit and loss and we talk about like, their CPA and their investing and all these types of things. I can't tell you how many women don't pay themselves. They are paying their payroll. They're making sure that all their employees are fucking paid and laid and they're living their best lives and they are just one nutter butter away from the fucking nitwit house. And I feel really bad for them. And obviously I help them out of that and I fix their shit with them. But unless you went to business school and you know all of these very nuanced theoretical types of things about business, a lot of the women that I've worked with and still work with to this day, they are just hustlers, man. They just work their fucking titties off and they do the damn thing. And I love them for that. But wouldn't it be so dope that if you had that hustle mentality and then you had a coach like me that said like, girl, you got to pay yourself. You have to have a CPA. You need to put away quarterly taxes. We need to take your tax returns and put them into an S&P 500 stock account. I have so many different stock accounts now. I'm worth millions and millions in the stocks, right? I didn't understand anything about stocks. Like most of the people I grew up with, they were like, stock market, what the fuck are you talking about? I had to learn all of this shit the hard way. I had to crawl so all of my clients, ran the fucking 500-meter dash or whatever the fuck it's called. You can tell I don't run. I don't know if whatever. My titties are too big. I'd have two black eyes. Let's be honest. But I want you to really think about the metrics of your margins and how you're managing your cash flow. Like, are you smart and do you have like I have girls that they have like 50 different credit cards and they just put all this shit, to buy product or this or that on credit cards, which I'm not against, guys. I'm not against that, but it has to be 0% interest rate for a certain amount of time. You have to do things very strategically. And this is what I do help all of my girls do. And I just want to say this. If you're like, I really want to work with Katie, I am never going to judge you. I'm never going to hurt your feelings. I'm never going to talk shit about you, but I will whip your ass into shape and I will pick your business apart. And it may feel uncomfortable, but please understand. And I'm promising you from the bottom of my little black heart, I am going to help you be the best version of yourself so that you can spend time with your children. So you don't have to fucking give your child to a nanny or bring your kid to daycare so you can go to your shitty little fucking 9-to-5 job. Listen, I am a feminist, but I'm also a realist. And I truly believe that we as a female society were sold a bill of goods in the first wave of feminism, because you have to understand when all the women were raising their children and working from home. And listen, you could fight me and be like, well, women had no rights and they couldn't even get a credit card until 1970, 75, I think, or 76 or whatever. And the men just controlled them and financially abused them. Yes, I do also agree with that. And both things can be true. But if you are a trash bag government, wouldn't you be like, let's get all these women out of the house into the workforce so that we can double tax their family, and let's take their children and let's indoctrinate them at this shitty trash school that was created by the Rockefellers. Don't believe me? Go down that fucking rabbit hole. Okay. So they can indoctrinate these children and make them feeble-minded fucks and make them easy to manipulate and easy to take in propaganda and think it's true. Okay? Hear me out. I'm not saying that you need to be a stay-at-home mom, but if every day you drop your kid off at that daycare and your heart fucking sinks, That is how God and spirit and the universe are saying, "What the fuck are you doing, bitch? Become a boss bitch, become an entrepreneur." And if you don't understand it, ask someone like Katie who will fucking help you. Even like on our discovery calls, I give girls multi-million dollar ideas and they're too fucking stupid to even say, "Wow, this girl fucking knows." Or too afraid. Or maybe they're just dumb and afraid, or they're naked and afraid and dumb. I don't fucking know what they are, but I will tell you this. I would rather die than have children and give them to a fucking daycare or have a nanny watch my child because I have to go to my yucky job and ask permission to use the bathroom, leave early to pick up my sick kid from school, or go on vacation. Just put that in your fucking peace pipe and smoke it and think about it. And a lot of people will be like, "Katie, you're so angry lately." Maybe I'm going through the stage of grief from my father's death. It's anger. And you know what? I like me angry because I'm speaking the motherfucking truth. And all of you bitches out there in a bitches land, you should be fucking angry too that you've been lied to and manipulated to do the things that you're doing and think that it's okay. That's all I have to say. So I'm going to wrap up the podcast today because I have to go teach on my app. I have to go live coach on there while we all work out together on our treadmills and ruck or outside and ruck. And I'll see you next Tuesday for part 3 of how to win at business. But if you're ready to step into your power and you're desiring help, go to kbmc.com, work with Katie, fill out the inquiry form under the business coaching program or not, or just be a pussy and live your sad little fucking yucky life. And that's okay too. But don't complain about it. I'm so sick of people complaining about their shitty lives and they do nothing to fix it. Okay? Don't fucking talk about it, be about it. That's all I have to say. In the meantime, share this with anyone that may need a little tough love. And don't forget to stay ambitious, and I will see you next Tuesday.